today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from what they're...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
What's up, family? Welcome to the Black by Demand radio show. We are back. I'm your host, Michael Harrison Jr., a.k.a. Brother Mike. Peace, fam. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We back for another exciting episode. It's our second show. We want to have a little fun with this one as well. So, everybody, please help me welcome my guest co-host, Mr. Jay the Barber Capone. Jay was here with us on the first show. So, Jay, welcome back, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
You back as the co-host this time.
Appreciate it.
Big J making big moves.
What's up?
So we also want to welcome our other guest, Mr. Dalles Digue. Digue. Okay, I said it right the first time. Okay. Dalles Digue.
Hey,
Dalles, welcome to the Black by the Man radio show, my brother.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming out, man, and chatting with us.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no problem, brother. You know what I mean? We keep it 100 around here. Everybody say they keep it 100, but Black by the Man radio, we keep it 100.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man, I thank both of y'all for coming out, sitting in with us. Want to welcome everybody who's tuning in. With this particular show, our topic is going to be an interesting topic. I think we should have a little fun with it. We're going to talk about black cycles. But before we get into that, let me first just say the Black by the Man radio show is sponsored by blackbytheman.com. Blackbytheman.com is a one-stop shop for black businesses. If you are a business owner or if you just someone who wants to place an ad for an item you want to sell, please check out blackbytheman.com. It's the one-stop shop for black business where you can place a classified ad to showcase your business as well as showcase job postings, items you want to sell, so forth and so on. Basically, it's our Craigslist. So blackbytheman.com is where you want to go to do any type of black business. So again, I want to welcome everybody. And today's topic is going to be black cycles. This should be a little exciting. I actually intended to have a woman in on this discussion, and we had someone lined up, but unfortunately they weren't able to make it. So for this particular discussion, I would love if we could have some women participate in this. We want to get your perspective as a black woman, as a black mother, as we dive into talking about these different cycles. So the phone lines will be open. I'm going to go ahead and give the number now. 410-702-5657. That's 410-702-5657. Not that we don't want to hear from the brothers today, but we definitely want to get some input from the sisters as being mothers, wives, parents, so forth and so on when we get into this cycle thing. So again, 410-702-5657, and you can always text in and speak with us through the text as well as pose a question and participate in this conversation. Should be a great convo.
Yeah.
So black cycles, fellas, this is what we starting off with. Things that we pass down from generation to generation. Things that we should keep, things we should change, things we should add. And just have a conversation that I believe pertains to us. Because, again, that's what the Black by Demand radio show is all about. Black business, black matters, black lives. So this is all about us. So let's dig into these cycles a little bit, man. So, all groups of people, all races of people have cycles of things that they pass down from generations. So we're no different. We have cycles that we pass down. So I think I want to start off by talking about what type of cycles you guys think that we pass down generation to generation as black people that maybe we should change? Maybe we should not pass these things down from generation to generation. So I want to start off with the, I guess, the not so positive, and that way we end it on a positive note. You know what I'm saying? We end it on a positive note. So just to get the discussion going, let's get into some things that we pass down that we really don't want to continue to pass down. One of the first things that I was thinking about is eating habits. how do we feel about the eating habits that we pass down generation to generation to our children? Now, our parents didn't have the knowledge that we have. So things are a little different for us. We got a little bit more knowledge. So, do you think there's room to make changes in eating habits that's going to benefit us as a people? Because at the end of the day, as Black Americans, we lead in cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, overweight. Okay, so if you do the research, it turns out all of this is a result of what we eat. So let's get into talking about what we eat and what we pass down from generation to generation.
Right.
Jay, tell me how you feel.
I really can speak on this subject because maybe 2-3 years ago, I made a conscious decision to stop eating shellfish, seafood, so to speak, and pork.
Nice.
This one day, I got a sub from Jimmy John's. I remember the day and everything now. We had a submarine sandwich that had ham, salami, pepperoni, all kind of stuff on it. I swear to you, after 10 minutes of eating that sandwich, I had the meanest headache I ever had in my life. I said from 10 minutes, that sandwich changed my attitude, my well-being. I wanted to either lay down or fight.
Right.
It was crazy.
Right.
I said, if I don't go home, I'm going to fight somebody.
Right.
So I said, nothing should have that much power over me and my body. And I said, yo, I can't eat this stuff no more.
Yeah, it's definitely not good for you.
Right.
Even though it's delicious.
It's delicious, but I can do without it.
You can do without it.
I tell people that, oh, you raised on pork, you from the South. Just because I didn't know better don't mean I can continue down that road.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got to make that decision. Hey, would this help or benefit me?
Right.
Or it's going to destroy me.
Yes.
It will destroy you. Yeah.
And of course, your eating habits is what your children are going to pick up on.
Right.
And that heavy amount of meat intake is definitely, especially if it's pork.
That's what you're going to put on your table for your family anyway.
Right.
So you got to make the conscious decision: is this for you, or the longevity of your family?
Right.
Why play with that?
Yeah, that's definitely nothing to play with. I recently watched documentary on Netflix called "What the Health." I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. But one of the things that I thought was scary, other than the whole documentary itself, right, about meat, but here in America, these doctors were saying that kids at the age of 10 are already being diagnosed with cholesterol buildup in their arteries. 10 years old. Oh, yeah, 10 years old, and it's definitely coming from the food we eat. So, I mean, Dalles, your background is actually you Haitian, right? So I like that, you know what I mean? Because, you bring in a different Black perspective to the table, man. So how do you feel about our eating habits?
So, as a Haitian person, we didn't grow up eating whatever,
you lucky son of a...
Rice and beans, a lot of veggies.
Right, the good stuff, the good stuff.
Exactly. When I get older, started drinking more soda and stuff like that, you see the effect on soda, just your overall well-being, your skin, how you digest things. And when I got to college, I stopped drinking soda completely. Now I have 2 kids. We don't buy soda at home.
Nice.
I don't let them drink soda.
Right.
Because it's not healthy.
It's definitely not healthy.
Right.
Just sugar intake.
It's a lot of sugar intake. I mean, the amount of sugar that are in foods, regardless, because sugar, your body treats sugar and starch all the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you add the sugar intake on top of the rice, the pastas that you eat at home, that's overload.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I know that.
Right.
My parents didn't know that.
Right.
So I bring that to my kids.
Right.
And so I don't allow them to have soda at home.
Yeah, because I think that's the name of the game. I think we have to evolve as parents. Like our parents did the best they could with the knowledge they had. Their parents did the same thing. Right. So with the generation that we have underneath us, we happen to be in the information age where we now have access to things that, like, you probably would have had to go to a card catalog at a library. Card catalog. I'm showing my age by telling that, right? Card catalog. There's people listening who don't even know what that is, right? A card catalog, right? But you get what I'm saying? Like, you would have had to do some serious research, whereas now you can just get on Google or you can watch a documentary on Netflix.
Right.
And, I love the fact that we as Black people, right, because what got stripped from us here over in America, right? So we did end up recreating a Black American culture. So a part of that culture, right, because our African culture was stripped from us, But through this Black American culture, we created soul food, which of course we all love. You understand what I mean? But I guess my question is, our soul food, as delicious as it is it healthy for us?
Not all the way.
Delicious, we agree upon, right?
We agree upon. Everything is healthy in moderation.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're not going to die from eating macaroni and cheese, the good macaroni and cheese, right?
Right, right.
But if you eat it every day, that's
yes.
a problem.
Right,
I mean,
right,
you
right.
eat it every Sunday.
Right.
No, I mean, it's okay to have macaroni and cheese once a month, every other month.
But you got that Sunday dinner popping off every Sunday. Cholesterol go up 6 points every Sunday.
Enough to kill that
Right. So you're going to get 2-3 plates.
Yeah.
Go straight to sleep afterwards.
And let alone the fact that a portion of our soul food, right, is just our creative design from dealing with scraps, that the slaves were given, that the dominant society didn't want to eat, So we're creative people. We can take a leaf that they don't want to eat and say, well, it's collard greens for us. We add a little something to it, smoked turkey wing, some people use pork. We make it delicious. So, but yeah, I've always felt that as delicious as soul food is, and we need it, and I think it is good for the soul, but it's not the healthiest. Food on the planet. And you're right, moderation is probably the key with that. You know what I mean? Like, we can't just be going hard like that all the time, because, again, we passing this down to our kids. And with the information that we have today, like I said, something as short as a documentary like What the Health, where, you got these doctors on here who are saying the American diet is designed to kill you. It's designed to get you sick. It's designed to give you high blood pressure, give you cardiovascular disease, give you diabetes. And that the solution to all of it is simply not taking in as much meat, because the American diet is designed for you to have an intake of meat that's like over 60%. When in all reality, if you stayed under 20% with your meat intake, you would be a lot healthier. I'm actually about 24 days in without eating any meat. Like, I didn't even know I could even make it this far.
Really?
I'm 24 days in, bro. I ain't had no meat, right? I've lost about 10 pounds. I feel good. Like, I'm actually surprised at the results. My biggest challenge has been the dairy, because, man, when you try to stop eating dairy products, you find out just how much dairy you've been eating.
Yeah.
The cheese is in everything.
Eggs.
And all the eggs. I let the eggs go completely. According to What the Health, the documentary, they said if you ate an egg daily, one egg daily, it was like the equivalent of smoking 5 cigarettes. I'm like, oh man, like, bruh, I eat like 4 or 5 eggs when I eat eggs. I'm like, so I got to bow out of this completely, at least let my body cleanse a little bit, But that soul food is definitely something that we love, but it may not be the best for us, all the time. Like you said, moderation, you know what I mean? Jay, with your kids, Jay's got 2 young boys. Things that you are aware of now with food as far as harmful effects, like, have you made any changes from, raising your kids versus the way that you was raised, as far as what they eat?
Because having a busy lifestyle, it's hard to really go home and cook every night.
That's true. That's true.
But being that my kid's appetite really picked up over, I say, the last year or two, because my oldest son, he's big now.
Mm-hmm.
He's a linebacker now.
Right.
So
that's little JJ, right?
Yeah. So when you think about it, I don't want him growing up before he's in high school having, I gotta take insulin, or I gotta watch this or watch that, because they tell you, I want chicken nuggets, I want corn dog, but you gotta look at it like, that's a lot of carbs, that's a lot of calories, that's bad habits.
Right.
So even when we was little, we'd be like, Dad, can we go to the McDonald's? Oh, McDonald's closed. Like 3 in the morning.
Right.
Come on, man. But
yeah, McDonald's, that's a bad one.
Kids in a neutral zone where you gotta teach them and really show them, like, yo, if you do this, you'll end up like that.
Right.
So you gotta have it in moderations. But if you can, kick that habit if you can, because I'm trying to kick the habit. I'm a carbs lover.
Right.
I love me some pasta and rice. I can eat a whole pound of rice.
Well, according to What the Health, the doctors were saying that the carbs actually are not as bad for us as we think. They was like, most of the diseases that people suffer from is coming from the meat intake. You know, they were clearly saying, like, we're well aware that, you know, society tends to believe that the carbs are the worst. But they were like, actually, carbs can't even turn to fat like you think, because most carbs get used as energy, you know what I mean, and turn into energy within the body. Like, it's a small percentage of your weight that gained came from the actual carbs. It's really coming from the meat. And that's what they've been hiding from us, because it's an industry where it's not designed to heal you. True. It's designed to treat your symptoms. You know what I mean? Treat your symptoms. But we're going to go to our first commercial break, fellas, and we'll be back. Everybody stay tuned. Black by the Man Radio, your host, Brother Mike, my guest, Jay the Barber Capone, and also Dalles. Digue. All right, Dalles. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice products today.
Last time on Talk Lately.
Government. I don't understand why. Look, me, and I haven't said anything either. But this is my moment. Where this American Healthcare Act is. Oh, you all right? Ooh, a sneeze and a cough. How'd that work out? That sounds real difficult. Like, damn, you know, sneezing is like you skipping a heartbeat. A cough is like you bringing up a lung. So it was like a sneeze and a cough. So you was dying twice. Because you was coughing. I was like, you okay? Achoo! What? How you fit that in there? So, now back to the American Healthcare Act, because you're going to need that to get the cough and the sneeze together.
Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice products today.
Hey everybody, it's Marnie, the executive producer here at BeExposedRadio.com, and I'm here to talk about my show. I know, how selfish, right? Talk Lately with me, Marnie, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So what do we talk about on this show? I can tell you this, there has never been a show that I have gotten completely through the full agenda, because our topics, our conversations are just that damn good. I cover politics, gossip, entertainment, and hey, I love a good panel discussion. Hey, get a group of people in here and let us debate it out. That is the best thing in the world. Not to mention, I take calls and texts, and I'll debate with you too. So why don't you get involved and be heard? What's that old adage? Closed mouths don't get fed. That says it all. So join me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com. Call me at 410-702-5657. You can text at 443-642-9403. And don't forget to be heard and vote in our weekly poll right on the website.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
How did you know that this is what you wanted to do as far as being a singer or entertainer?
It's always been in me. It's always been a part of who I am since a child. Since a child, I've always gotten karaoke boxes, and I've always learned this song and solos in school and all of those things. And I met my Reflections actually in high school, and you know, we were singing and we were singing back then, choral music.
Douglas High School.
Yes, quack, come on through here. You know, so
2 G's in a day pass.
Okay, 2 G's in a bus pass, baby. You know, it used to be, of course. You know, it's It was destined. I feel like it was destined. My whole family sings. Everyone in my circle sings. It's like I just couldn't get away from it. I'm always gonna sing.
Where did your personality come from? Are you always this crazy?
Yes.
Yes. Crazy.
Right? I woke up like this.
Okay.
And went to sleep like it too.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice products today.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Yeah, I still don't have it yet, though. All right, welcome back, everybody. Black Body Man Radio Show. I'm your host, Brother Mike, with my my guest co-host, Jay the Barber Capone, and my guest, Dalles. Digue. Yeah, so welcome everybody back. In case you didn't get a chance to see what we were talking about at the intro of the show, this show's about black cycles, so we're going over things that black people pass down from generation to generation, things we need to change, things we should keep, things we should add. So we first touched on better eating habits, passing down to our children. With all of the information that we have access to out here today, I think we should do a little investigating and find out if the eating habits that we pass down from generation to generation are actually healthy for our kids. And of course, we found a few gray areas where it's actually not that healthy. So what I also want to talk about is what about spending habits?
Definitely.
You know, like I think spending habits that we pass down from generation to generation probably could use a little tweaking. No, that was a nice way to put it, right? That's a nice way to put it. So, so let's talk about spending habits. Dalles, tell me how you feel about, our spending habits that we teach to our children.
As black people, I find out that we don't really teach spending habits to our children.
Okay.
What we do is we have a spending habit that we have for ourselves, and that we show our children how to spend money. Whether they like it or not, they either keep it or they go about their own business, and we don't really sit down with them and teach them how to spend their money, what's the best possible outcome on spending their money. I have two boys. I got a 7-year-old and I got a 4-year-old.
Okay.
I told my 4-year-old who wants to go to Chuck E. Cheese, he thinks, Dad has money to go have fun every single day. And he doesn't give me anything in return. His Dad, I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, and I send him to Chuck E. Cheese. It don't work that way.
Right.
So I told him, the day before you go back to school, I'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese. We all know Chuck E. Cheese is an ordeal, right? You spend $100 at Chuck E. Cheese in one day, easy, right? 2 hours.
Right.
So I told him, you give me something for the rest of the summer, and I'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese. No problem.
I like that.
You gotta give me something. When I tell you to take the trash out, take the trash out. It's my 4-year-old.
Right.
When I tell you to take a bath, I don't want to hear no whining. I make my 4-year-old do math problems. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I ask you to do those things, I need you to do those things without much hassle, and then I'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese. If you do it with hassle, then we don't go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
That.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because I think that teaches the value of the dollar and that you have to earn it.
Yeah.
Because I think with us, because we are lacking in so many areas because of the things we deal with dominant society trying to prevent us from moving forward, I think we fulfill some of our need of feeling like we are moving forward and doing well by making sure our kids have everything. So we want to make sure they got the Jordans or the newest cleats for the football team, so forth and so on. But my question is, what is that teaching them about the value of a dollar?
Right. It's diminishing the value of the dollar.
Yeah.
Because as we all know, we work hard for our money.
Yes.
For your child to even come to you and be like, Daddy, give me $5. I remember I asked my dad $5. I said, Dad, I need $5. He said, for what?
Right.
I said, damn, Dad, it's $5.
Mm-hmm.
No, I work hard for my money.
That's right.
It's my money.
Right.
You need it. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I got my money. So now that you have your own kids, you got to be like, well, I understand what he was talking about. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be kicking the money I just made.
Right, yeah.
Especially to some kids that don't even deserve it.
Right.
So
right.
You didn't, like you said, you didn't clean your room.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't do what I tell you to do. You're talking back to your mom. You don't deserve no money.
Yeah.
And then, like I tell mine, you wearing nice stuff. I can go to Walmart and get your clothes.
Right.
I said we spend a lot of money on your clothes. So you definitely gotta instill that value of where money come into play and money don't come into play. Because at the end of the day, money can't buy you happiness, but it might solve a couple of problems, and that's about it.
Right, right, yeah. That's true. Dalles, you wanted to add on to that?
No, what he was saying though, it's just certain things you gotta teach your kids because, like you said, we work hard for money. Money don't grow on trees. Right. Everybody don't make $20 an hour. Everybody don't make $15 an hour. Everybody don't make $40 an hour.
Right.
So when you making $12 an hour and you buy your kids a pair of Jordans just because they want to, they want one. What are you teaching them?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What are you teaching them? Yeah.
Exactly. Dress kids that look like kids instead of grown little kids.
Yeah. Because when I was younger, kids looked like kids. Right. Like my mother shopped in decent areas, but like when we got the expensive sneakers and stuff, that was like special occasions. You know what I mean? Birthdays and things like that. But I tell you what, we're gonna break for another commercial. And we're going to finish this discussion. You know what I mean? I want to get into this with the spending habits. So Black by the Man Radio, Brother Mike, we'll be back after this commercial break.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop King, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show. Now here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I am saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details behind what happened. No, the fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. They deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com. Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from what is now becoming mainstream as white privilege. She has a sensibility about her, and the way she speaks about different things that has, from the first time I saw her, I can't remember what state she's in. I think she's in like North Carolina or something like that, somewhere I'm not going. That some kind of sensibility about her that makes me like her.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Black by the Man radio show. If you missed what we was discussing, today's topic is about black cycles that we pass down generation to generation. Ones we should keep, ones we should change, ones we should add. So we was just speaking on spending habits and coming to grips with that we may not be teaching our children the true value of a dollar by just constantly showing them that when they want something, you know, I'll get it for you, you know, without making them understand how much it costs and how this is, you know, not like a normal purchase. You know, like, you know, I'll just use Jordans as an example. That's not a normal purchase. Like, it's not normal going to buy your child a pair of sneakers for $250 when your child is 12 years old. Then he's not even going to be able to fit them sneakers for about 6 months tops before his foot gets too big. And I'm saying, even if you are doing that, like, financial literacy, I think, is something we're not teaching our kids. And I think a lot of it has to do with because most of us may not even have that financial literacy because we pass down habits that came from our parents, which is, I think a lot of us believe that, you know, because we work hard and, you know, we pay our bills, and I'm speaking of responsible parents, that what's left over, it's like, well, I'm going to kick it with this. You know what I mean? I'm going to party with this. I paid my rent, my mortgage, or, you know, my utilities and all that. I got $180 left. I'm going to the bar. You know, when in all reality, you know, like the child is picking up on those habits. The child is picking up on, yeah, you know, once mom or dad pays all the bills, we always go eat afterwards, right? You know, so like you got to pay attention to what this is actually, you know, teaching them and making them understand how long you had to work to get that money you just gave them. So if I make $20 an hour and I just gave you $40 because you just want to go to the football game, right? The Friday night football game. That child has no understanding that you worked for 2 hours to get that $40. And then I just gave it to you just because you said, Dad, can I have $40? Right? So I'm not, you know, I'm not making you understand what I went through to get that $40 to have you appreciate it more. So to the child, it's just like, boom, you know, $40. You know, he gonna go and he gonna, yeah, I'm out. I'm gonna have some fun. He doesn't understand how much work that parent actually did in that 2 hour period. People can get a lot of work out of you in 2 hours. You know what I mean? They get a lot of work out of you. So for you to just give away 2 hours worth of your pay and just think, oh, well, it's my child. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, true, it's your child. But like, what are you teaching that child if you just give it right without any type of explanation, you know, making them understand the value of that dollar? So I think financial literacy is something that we as parents need to study more. You know, like I personally read financial books to give myself leverage. You know what I mean? I'm a leverage kind of guy. You know, I want to have leverage in everything that I do. So I dive into reading financial books, so forth and so on. And I try to pass that info down to my son as well as to family, you know, whoever's willing to listen, because our spending habits are not the best. I was actually talking to a young white girl the other day, right? And she works at Comcast. And she was telling me that, you know, the black customers that come into Comcast, they always want the top package. She was like, you know, I'm not trying to be smart. You know, she was like, but, you know, like white people and other races, they'll get like the lower package, something that's more affordable. She was like, and black people always want the top package. They want the triple play, you know, you know, everything. And then 2 months later, you know, the bill's getting cut off, you know, and she was just saying, why do you guys always like got to have the best of the best? So I tried to give her a little insight, like, you know, well, you got to understand where we come from. You know what I mean? So when slavery was over with and slaves was free, the only way they got any respect is if they had anything similar to the dominant society. So if you could come up with a car or you wore a particular suit every week, it made you feel more accepted into dominant society. So we still kind of suffer from that. You know what I mean? Because of all the things we go through, our attitude is kind of like, well, when it comes to this money that I worked for, I'm going to do whatever I want. You know what I mean? And I'm going to show that I'm a hardworking person, you know. So if you take, right, that's not how you show it, right? Not the best route, but I was trying to give her an understanding that this is how we got there. And, you know, with a lot of us, you can tell a black person's financial status just by simply looking at where they live at, or type of car they drive, type of clothes they wear, because we're going to show that we getting that money one way or another. It's going to show somewhere. Like I used to always say when I was younger, you know, you could pull up to a light and, you know, there's a brother and he's got a Lexus. He's got some 20s, 22s on it, right? Clean, right beside him. There's another man from a different particular race. He in a little Toyota Corolla, right? So the brother pulled up confident beside this little Corolla. He got the Lex, this dude in a Corolla, right? But when that light turned green, dude in the Lex goes and parks that in the hood. Got to put, you know, a low jack on it. You understand what I mean? You got little runners watching your car, make sure nothing happen. Dude in that Corolla, he pull up to a garage, hit a button. Garage door open up. He go park that little Corolla inside his 3,200 square foot home. So I seen that at a young age, and I'm like, something's wrong here. Right? Something's wrong here, right? You know, like, you know, why are our cars that nice, but then we taking it back to the hood.
Right.
You understand what I mean? So
you gotta do better.
Yeah. Perception of value as black people, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, black people perceive getting money as buying things that are expensive.
Right.
Cars have no value.
None.
You know what I mean?
None.
And you can't spend your money on something that has no value. That's not going to pay you back at the end.
It's not an asset.
Exactly. So where people go and they go buy a decent house and drive a Corolla or a Camry, you know, they park their car in their garage.
Right.
Even if the value of the house goes down, they still have some sort of equity.
They got equity.
In the house,
right.
You have no equity in the car.
Right.
None. I mean, even the 10 grand that you might be able to sell your car for, at the end of the day, you paid, what, 35, 40 for the car?
Right.
So the 10 grand really is not adding up.
Right. Now it's worth 4,200.
Exactly.
He paid about 40 grand for it, worth 3,200 now.
Right. So we got to teach, you know, I started teaching our kids and actually reteaching ourselves to start paying attention to what we spend our value on.
Right.
And that's true, because when this is the first time I bought a vehicle and I seen the paperwork. So I want to say my truck cost me 18 grand. Out of that, they taxing me about another 8 for borrowing the 18 grand.
Right. Yeah.
So you're looking at like $24,000 to $26,000 at the end of the day that I got to pay. And then if I go trade my truck in now, my truck might be 8 grand worth.
Right.
And I still got to pay that whole 26.
Yeah.
Right.
That's crazy.
On something that depreciates.
Right. So
cars do not appreciate. They depreciate.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, people don't teach you this. This is what we should learn in high school. About investing, about really putting your money away, saving your credit. Because when you get out in the real world, it's too late. Then once it's too late, it's too bad. So it's not like you can really kind of say start over, because it's easy to get in the red in your credit score. It's hard as hell to get back where it's at, because trust.
Yeah. Cleanup is a process. Cleanup is a process. It's a process.
Yeah.
So we putting too much value into things that don't appreciate, that depreciate. Like a car is not a good investment. Like we all been victims of getting nice cars because, again, society we live in and the way we were raised, you know, you want to have something that makes you feel that you can show I work hard for a living. But the reality is we would probably be more better off learning about investing or putting that money towards some stocks, you know, and get a lesser car, but learning to make your money work for you. And we don't have that education at all. So this, for me, goes back to what I said on the first show, which is we cannot allow the education of our kids to simply come from school, because they're not going to teach them that. You know what I mean? They're teaching them how to be consumers. They're not teaching them how to be producers. They're not going to teach them how to, you know, learn about finances. You know, like you could go to school to be a doctor but it doesn't mean you're any better with money than a janitor.
No.
You understand what I mean? Because you learned how to be a doctor. So the mentality that you had before you became a doctor was probably a poverty-stricken mentality, right? Meaning you didn't have a full understanding of money and how it works. Well, just because you go and become a doctor and now you make $400,000 a year, you still can have a poverty-stricken mindset. So that person's got more money, but it equals up to bigger debt and bigger toys.
Right.
You understand what I mean? Yeah. So they're still not really advancing. They just have a fancier place to sit at, fancier car to drive, so forth and so on. So I think we definitely have to play our part in teaching our kids the value of a dollar, you know, and making them understand. Like I taught my son from his first job forward. I'm not saying he did this, but I taught him, right? I told him to save something from every paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, try to go a whole year and look back on that year and say, I have at least $1 from every check that I made this year. And that's a task. You understand what I mean? Because, when you get money just goes. You know what I mean? It just goes. Everything pops up. Everybody needs it. Everybody wants it. It just goes. So it is a challenge to take like 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks of every check you get and keep that. So you can at the end of the year say, I still have a piece of money from every check that I got. So we definitely got to work on better spending habits. Let's talk about let's just go and get this out the way. Let's talk about violence. Are we passing down violence to our children?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
The world is built on a sub-level of violence, right? At some point, you need violence to get a point across.
Okay.
Right. I'm not telling my kids to go beat up on people.
Right.
But I am telling my kids not to take shit from people that they don't need to.
Defend yourself. Right.
Defend yourself. Right. So I'm not telling my son to go pick on this kid. My kids are very peaceful for the most part. But do not allow anybody to disrespect you.
Right.
And it could be the first time a word, the second time a word, the third time it might be a hand that might take it. Every person is different.
Right.
You might come across a person where the word the first time might work, the second time might work.
Right.
You might come across the hard-headed person that need the hand. So it depends on the situation.
On the
Every
situation.
It doesn't need violence, but some situations do.
Right.
Jay, how you feel?
No, I definitely agree with it because these days, I don't know if it's really bullying because when I was growing up, we didn't really have a problem. We have picking on each other.
Everybody got picked on,
but we wasn't killing ourselves.
Right.
Like kids are really killing themselves. Like I'm saying, this one kid that was on Facebook, man, he hung himself. The kid was like 8 years old. I'm like, how the hell to hang yourself? So I'm saying,
where did that behavior get learned from?
Yeah, like you got to really watch it out because my kids, when they first started school, they only dealt with themselves. So they didn't know how to stop when somebody didn't want to play with them no more. So that was not really a big issue, but we had to teach them like everybody's not gonna like you.
Right.
Everybody's not gonna want to be your friend.
Right.
So we have to teach them and but at the same time, when somebody's not treating you right. So if somebody messes with you, somebody push you, or something like that, hey, you let them know you don't push me. You don't put your hands on me.
You stand your ground.
Right.
Right.
Boy or girl.
So Dalles feels that we're not promoting violence, right? So let me play the devil's advocate here, right? So what about the parent, rather mother or father, who has the child, right, that has a little situation, right? And this child just naturally ain't violent, you know what I mean? Just naturally don't have that, fight back tendency. And then we as a parent take that child outside and say, nah, hell with that. You gonna fight him right now, or you gonna fight her to this day, right? Because we do that, right? We do that because in our mentality, we thinking, I don't want my child being soft. I want my child to be able to function in this cruel world. So my question is, in those cases, is that the right route to take when you know that if your child really wanted to fight back, they would have did it when they had that opportunity? You know what I mean? So now you are forcing that child and saying, you ain't gonna let that little boy hit you, or you're not gonna let that little girl talk to you that way. So when we do that, what is that instilling in the child? You understand what I mean? Is this going to be a child that's going to see violence as the solution to their problems as they grow older? Or do you think that isolated incident is going to be able to stay as an isolated incident in the child's mind?
Everything plays a part. I don't want to say that wouldn't be isolated because if you make somebody fight, you know when you was a kid, you don't want to fight nobody.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to get hit in the face. But if your parent make you do it and you still get your butt whooped, that's stigma.
Yeah, that's
I see my dad has seen me really.
Speaking of that, not to interrupt you, but that's another thing. What about the black parents who say, if you don't go out there and whip that person's butt, I'm gonna whip your butt. Because we all know about that, right? You either go out there and deal with that person, or you're gonna deal with me when you get in here. So, like, what is that doing to the child? You understand what I mean?
That would, I would say, really mess them up. Being that my dad wouldn't allow that. It's crazy because when you get older, everybody tell you stories. So my uncle told me a story. Your dad used to fight everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I said, my dad? I'm saying, he beat us if you got in a fight.
Right.
So I'm saying, but that's
you
how
ain't
you
know dad was a little harder than you thought, right?
That's what I'm saying. So he knew. My father knew, but we couldn't see that as a child. You could see that as a man. But I'm saying he knew which way he wanted his kids to go. By fighting everybody, all they're gonna do is get you a quicker way to the grave. I'm saying you don't got at the end of the day as a man, you don't have nothing to prove to nobody. Whatever I say, hey Mike, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. That's my word.
Mm-hmm.
That should be it. I don't have to go beyond that to prove my point. And that's what you gotta teach your kids. Like if they don't want to be your friend, hey, somebody else will be your friend. I'm gonna be there for you regardless. Right. That's why I tell my kids. I said I would never be your friend. I will always be your father.
Right.
You're gonna have 1,000 friends in your lifetime, but you don't want to have one me.
That's right. I'm not your friend, right?
I would never be your friend.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. So I mean, what do you think, Dalles, as far as the parent who's going to make that child fight?
I did that to my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
He used to get picked on a lot. Me and my brother got 8 years difference.
Okay.
He used to get picked on a lot. Used to come home, told the teacher ain't do nothing.
Right.
Told the principal ain't do nothing. Parents, they're working. You know, they don't have time to go to school and handle disciplinary problems when he come home. Okay, for the most part, right? So I tell him, listen, I don't want to hear that anymore. Don't come home telling me that you told the teacher, you told the principal.
Mm-hmm.
Next person to pick on you, you whoop their butt. You don't whoop their butt, you come home, you answer to me.
There it is. My
brother is still a very peaceful person.
Closer to the mic.
My brother's still a very peaceful person.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like violence. He doesn't start violence, but he will finish it if he has to.
Right.
And that's because I've taught him to stick up for himself. I'm not telling him to go look out. Yeah, beat up people, go pick on people. I'm telling him just to plainly stick up for
Stand your ground.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stand your ground. Yeah, I like that. I think at a minimum we do got to teach him that. I'm just curious because, within our community we have so much violence. So other groups look at us and say, well, are you guys breeding that violence? You know what I mean? Like, are you making your kids violence? And we all know it's not coming from just that. It's coming from the pressures and being products of their environment. But you see how other people can look at that and say, well, you guys kind of you kind of make your kids fight, don't y'all, so forth and so on. So I just thought I'd play the devil's advocate, and issue that perspective.
In our society, a lot of kids grew up without supervision.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't my case. But a lot of kids grow up without supervision. When you don't have supervision, you're subjected to your environment.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you grow up as a product in your environment, and this is what the most people are seeing in our people,
mm-hmm.
is that these kids are growing up and being raised by the street, essentially.
Yes, they are. Yep.
And that's not the case for everybody, and that shouldn't be the case for everybody.
Right.
And like his dad, my dad also grew up fighting.
Right.
And my dad didn't like us fighting. His thing was, you fight, no one wins. Even if you won the fight, you end up getting hurt regardless.
Right,
who's the real winner?
All right, so, Dalles, hold that thought, brother. We're going to go to commercial break. Black by the Man Radio, Brother Mike. Stay with us. We're going to finish this subject.
'50s, late 40s, early 50s. That's not uncommon. It's a lot of. I mean, I can give you examples like that.
But it's a good thing he's dead because she can actually move on. Like you can't move on. If he was alive, if he was alive and she found out she was having sex with her father for 15 years, you can't move on from that. Somebody's got to die.
You can't. It's gonna be hard.
Somebody's got to die.
So wait, That means he didn't know either, though.
Immediately, so I could stop vomiting because I would have nothing else left to vomit. All my insides,
but that
all my
skeleton. He didn't know either. That's what would be the crazy part.
He wouldn't. He still doesn't know because he's dead. How does that game go? Marry, screw, kill? How does that work when it's your dad? Oh my gosh, we talk about stuff like this and more every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Talk Lately, the radio show. Only on BeExposedRadio.com and on YouTube live where you can see us.
Hey, what's up, good people? It's the man you all know and love, Digue. Make sure you check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Couple minutes left in the segment.
Sure.
Change is good.
Yes.
Knowing when to make that change in your life. And I think it's important that you know a strategy. You know where you need to go. But change is good. Everything don't stay the same.
Right.
And if you're a person, especially for old people, that can't accept change, then it's kind of hard. Right. I was going to a church. I'm gonna make this real brief. I was going to a church that could not, some older members. I attended the second oldest black Presbyterian church in the country. That's one. And why are you laughing?
Yeah, it's bad that you even knew that.
And that's the soundbite. Yeah.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, family, to the Black by the Man radio show. I'm your host, Brother Mike. So we were sitting here discussing cycles, black cycles that we pass down from generation to generation. Ones we should keep, ones we should change, ones we should add. So we were talking about violence, are we passing down violence? But before we dig back into it, I want to get the perspective of black women on this. So if we have any black women out here, mothers, wives, girlfriends, whatever, we'd like to hear from you on this topic. We don't want it to be one-sided. We actually had a female who was going to be here with us, but she was unable to make it. So if you're listening, please, as a woman, black woman, give us your perspective on the cycles. You can call in at 410-702-5657. That's 410-702-5657. Or you can simply join the chat and send us a text, questions or statements, and the brothers as well. But I kind of want to get more of the women involved in there. So we were talking about violence, and are we teaching our kids to be violent? Because I remember, like, as a youngin', right, my personal experience, like, violence was the answer to me. Like, I realize now that I was probably angry, not necessarily because of what was going on in my personal family, but, being from Harford County, like, we grow up in an environment where you're not the majority, so I experienced some things. And, being from the hood, to me, the answer was, if me and you got an issue, it could be over a PlayStation game, but right, it may end up with somebody saying, "Well, I'll bang you in your mouth, yo." You know what I'm saying? So when I reflect back on that, I'm trying to figure out, like, I know now that wasn't always the right route to go, and I got in a lot of trouble behind that. I was in court a lot. I learned my lesson, bro. You feel me? Like, you can't go around putting your hands on people. Like in the 80s, we got away with it. I remember in the 80s, two men would get in a fight, and the police would come, and the police would basically break the fight up, make y'all shake hands, go the opposite direction. Nobody got charged with second-degree assault and battery and all that. So I came from that era. So when I had a problem, especially with a man one-on-one, I'm ready to check your jaw. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to see how we deal with this. And, of course, that wasn't the route right to go. And then especially once you started catching charges behind it. Right. You know what I mean? So I really realized, like, okay, like the way I come up, ready to, as they say, put these paws on you. You know what I mean? You can't be doing that. You know what I mean? You're going to get in some trouble or you might get killed, right? So it made me reevaluate. Like, I don't want my son, growing up thinking that that's the answer. You know what I mean? Because it took for me to mature and go through some situations, court appearances, lawyers, jail time, things like that, for me to mature and say, hey, I can't be doing this. You know what I mean? Like, these people serious about this. I'm looking at it like a hood perspective, like, okay, me and dude got in a fight, so what? But it's much more serious than that, you know? So I don't want my son following that same path. But like you said, I want him to be able to stand his grounds, you know, if something pop off. But I also want him to recognize that there is other options on the table than always having to result in violence, you know. So when I see, you know, young black kids today, and, you know, you see them going through a lot of violence, you know what I mean? It made me pose the question, like, what part do we play in this? You know what I mean? Because, like, we tough as a people, you know what I mean? Like, I tell black people that all the time, you know, like when you see two brothers getting into it, you know, one like, yo, I ain't no punk, and the other one like, yo, I ain't no punk either. I just want to show up and be like, look, man, neither one of y'all punks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't about being a punk. So if that's what y'all about to fight over, you know, don't even do this. You know what I mean? Like we both black, our heart don't pump Kool-Aid. You know, so in case y'all don't know, black people ain't scared of black people. So when you dealing with another black person, you telling him I ain't scared of you, bruh, hey, he ain't scared of you either. You understand what I mean? So you might as well just dead it, you know what I mean, and not even let it reach that level, man. So yeah, I definitely felt that we should address that. So we got to be a little bit more attentive. And then what about what our children are participating in as far as watching television and then like video games and stuff? Because it's, you know, the violence is coming from other angles now. Like when we was a little bit younger, that violence came strictly from your environment in the hood. Now you can be a suburban kid, and then this dude went to school and shot people up. He ain't never been in the hood a day in his life, but because of his environment and, you know, games and stuff they playing. So, like, what part do you guys think play a part in that?
I don't think that play a part of us as a whole. Because we play Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
And I didn't take that from the bedroom to out on the street. So, I don't say that contained to us. I'm not saying that we won't do it, but I don't think we got the...
So we have a comment from Miss Samantha Dennis here. She says it's important to differentiate between standing up for yourself and fighting for a bogus reason. Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. Absolutely. Right.
I'm saying as a child, hey, I just want to fight to make myself look good, get some points, and win, and I'll be popular. That's what pretty much fighting back in the day was. But now, like you said, you're going to get some assault charges.
Right.
Now you're going to go to jail. You're going to miss school. You're going to miss work. You're going to miss money. For what? Now it's on your record. Now I got to get it expunged. I got to pay a lawyer. One fight.
One fight.
Really?
One fight, bro.
Change your life.
Change your life. I mean, trust me, my own personal experience, I went through a lot with that. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like, I dealt with some things, man. But yeah, I just wanted to find out what part we played, because like I said, when I was still in the hood, that fighting was fine. But when I transitioned into being other parts of society, and then I took that hood mentality with me, that I'll knock your teeth out your mouth, you know what I mean? It didn't work in regular society, you know what I mean? Like, I was getting in trouble. I had to find another way to deal with things, and truthfully, I really wasn't familiar with taking the other routes, because being from the hood, we always saw that as the sucker move. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't, you know, right, if you didn't hold your grounds, or someone was trying to take you to a level of violence and you talk them down from that, you got looked at as the punk. You get what I'm saying? So I took that mentality, and but I realized that had to change. So with my son, I wanted to try to make sure I didn't deliver that message to him based off my behavior when I was younger. You know, when you know better, you do better. You know, that type thing. So yeah, so I guess we got to pay attention a little bit more and not teach him to be so violent. Well, we got 30 seconds, Robbie. All right, Dalles, you want to finish up with some comments on this violence with the kids in this last 30 seconds?
Violence in kids and video games and TV shows, I don't think it has anything to do.
You don't think it plays that big of an effect?
At all, zero.
Right.
Either people have a more violent. Some people are more violent than other people.
True.
That's just the way it is.
True.
I don't think a video game or a TV show is going to force somebody or give somebody the idea to be violent. My kids watch superhero shows all day. They don't go around beating people up for it.
Yeah. True. And hopefully that's a big influence coming from you. You know what I mean? Because they're taking the influence from you versus taking the influence off the TV screen. Right. All right, so let's break for our next commercial break. Black by Demand Radio, Brother Mike. We'll be back, and we're going to move on to the next subject dealing with change. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, this the man that holds it down, Mr. Showtime, D the Boss. Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
I'm in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
My girl happens to be long distance. So with that being said,
I beat my thing like it owes me money. Sorry.
Because I asked that because so many people are not comfortable.
Here's my thing. It's mine.
That's right.
And you need to know yourself before you can have somebody please. If you can't tell nobody how to please you, if you don't know how to please yourself.
That's right.
You know what you like. You know what you like. You know the stroke. All that. So you're right. And I mean, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's your body. Yeah, I'm over here struggling with the ear.
Yeah, I'm glad it's you today. I'm glad it's you today, brother.
Oh, this thing going to drop. It's going to drop about at least like 5 times.
I'm over there struggling.
So E.D., do you have a problem with masturbating?
No, I don't. I don't masturbate often because I have a fear of going blind. So, yes. When I found
you could go blind from
I read about it. Is that true? No, it's not true.
It's not.
Okay. Because I was going to say I should have been blind a long time ago.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Black by the Man radio show. I'm your host, Brother Mike. If you haven't been tuning in, we've been talking about black cycles, things that we pass down from generation to generation, and we've been going over things we need to change. So I want to add a couple more things in that I got from people that I spoke with about things they felt we need to change. What about kicking our children out of the house too soon?
Oh, dude, that's the worst one.
Right? Because when I was young, like, black parents kind of had a rule, like, when you hit that 18 mark,
graduate.
Right. Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, you graduate Friday night, congratulations.
Yeah.
They let you kick it the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday morning they're in your face like, what you gonna do? You going to college, you getting a job, you know what you're gonna do.
Right.
Now, my personal experience, I noticed when I was young, I left my mother's house very early, right? So I had my own apartment by the time I was 20, 21 years old, right? So by the time I hit like 25, 26, right, I had people I went to school with, and these were like mainly white kids, right? And we 26 now, so we had a party somewhere, you know, and I got my own spot. I've been in my spot for years now. And then dude would still be living at home. And like, I thought that was like some clown stuff, you know what I mean? Like, yo, 25, you still at home? Like, bro, I've been gone, right? Been got my independence. But then I realized by the time we would say like 28, that person left their parents' house and went and bought a house. So I might have been out at 21, but I was still renting.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? That person stayed with their parents. Parents let them stack the paper up, prepare them a little bit more for life, learned them some more things, skipped over the apartment thing altogether. Peeps just straight took them to get your credit right. We're gonna buy a house. You know what I mean? Like they understood what I didn't understood back then, which is it was money being thrown away in their eyes if you didn't have a mortgage, right? So that kind of made me think like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, I probably could have stayed home a couple more years and, you know, got me a house a little sooner than what I actually did. So give me your thoughts on, you know, the way we deal with making our children face life so soon.
My kids gonna stay in my house as long as they.
My man, you changing the game up, changing the game. That's what I'm saying. And, you know, it might need some change here.
There's no reason. I mean, a lot of times, like you said, you leave the house early or you get kicked out of the house because of independence. You know, what's the harm with letting your kids, you know, 20 years old, 21 years old, stay out till 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning?
Right.
You know, it's something that we have to start teaching them from young is responsibility. You know, and throwing them out on their own at 18. We all know at 18, 20, we still kids. At 21, we still kids. Yes, so
definitely.
What, as children, are we going to be doing at 21 that's beneficial to our life at 30 and 40?
Right.
You know?
I agree.
So my kids can stay there for as long as they want. I plan on teaching them, you know, the right way to do things, at least what I feel is the right way to do things. And hopefully they learn and pick up and flourish, because that's what I really want from them.
Yeah, you can get them a little bit more polished and get them a little bit more ready for the world. You know, like what I found with my experience, as well as what I've seen with other people's experiences, that, you know, like, okay, you know, they like to use the analogy about some birds, you got to push them out the nest to make them fly, right? But it seems that if you leave that nest too soon, even though you get out there and you survive, if you check back 10, 15, 20 years later, that person is still just surviving. They never hit land. They spread their wings, they flying across open water, all ocean, looking for land. You don't find no land. Every now and then they stop and rest in the water, but then you got to get up and fly away again before the sharks get you. So that child ends up staying in just survival mode, you know, instead of actually getting up on their feet and then getting ahead of the game.
Right.
Because it began in survival mode.
Right.
And they didn't learn how to get out of that survival mode.
Right.
You know, and I've been through that personal experience myself. You know what I mean? Like, life offers you ups and downs. You know, so if you don't continue to learn, in this case with your people staying at home, your children, where you can teach them more and guide them more, you may end up just surviving the rest of your life. You know, just the old paycheck to paycheck, and 30 days at a time. That's what I always say. 30 days at a time. That's my little cliche, because like the average American, everything you have is only good for 30 days. So when you paid your bills this month, like, it only got you 30 more days.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, right. It got you 30 more days, right? Because in 30 days it's going to be due again. And if you don't pay everything within that every 30 days, like, things will start disappearing.
Right.
So, Jay, again, you got young boys, man. Do you think you're going to keep them in the house longer than you was?
Yeah. When I left the house, I was trying to get out. 'Cause, I think I was 17. So I was trying to leave the house at 17. I was like, I'm out. I don't want no more of this. Cause my dad was strict. Cause I finished school early. I finished school like in February, April. No, I say February. I didn't graduate till May. So I enlisted in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
I was trying to get out of the house then.
Simplify.
So being that I did that, I'm saying I finished school. I'm saying I got no school. My dad still had me going to bed at 8 o'clock. I said, Dad, the smartest kids in school just still in school. I'm out.
Right.
Let me 10 o'clock something. Let me live.
Give me a little breathing room, right?
But like I said, it's his house, his rules.
So, true.
My thing was, when I wanted to change, because when I did leave his house, all I had was clothes on my back and my car. But like you said, I wanted to set my kids up for the future, because I don't want my kids to struggle like me and their mom struggle. Because there were plenty of times when our lights got cut off, you get that yellow paper on that door. That's real hard times, because being I'm up here in Maryland, ain't nobody I can fall back on.
Right, because you're from Georgia. Right.
They in Georgia, so we get put out, then what? Who really gonna be there for you?
Right.
Take you, your girl, and the kids. That's hard.
True.
And it's a hard bullet to bite, because at the end of the day, as a man, you look yourself in the mirror, you be like, I failed me and my family. My family got to struggle because of my choices.
Right.
So the way I wanted to see my kids grow up, I want them to have their own card, their own credit cards, all that stuff, their own credit score up before they even turn 21. Because now I have a financial advisor. So when he broke the game down to me, he said his daughter already got a 730. I said, I don't think my dad got a 730.
Hey, I can tell you I ain't got no 730.
But you still have discipline, and your kids like, look, it's going to benefit you in the long run. You don't have to, like you said, rent. You go straight buy a house. And the way the kids are, I've been talking to the kids that from here, that's white, from Harford County. He said his grandmother died, left him $50,000. He said he took that money and opened a business. From that $50,000, he doing $500,000 a year.
Nice.
$500,000 a year. You're not even 25.
That's good money.
Good money, yeah.
Not even 25.
Yeah, man. I think for most of us, yeah.
He got that without a degree. He went out on his own and did his own thing. Now that's a lot of like hard work and respect right there.
Right.
So I'm saying that now, if you were still dating your kids when they 15, 10 years later, you could reap the benefits.
Right.
Because when I get 70, 80, I don't want to come stay with my kids in their apartment. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they gotta put me on hospice. I gotta be in the guest room or the living room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you set your kids up, you still setting yourself up. You don't have to worry about them. They're gonna take care of themselves. And they're going to pass that on down to their kids. You got to restart a rethinking of your generation. Because I don't want my kids to do what we had to do.
No.
Right, yeah, you want it to be better. And now that I'm sitting here thinking, this ties right back into what we were saying previous about we haven't taught the value of a dollar, right? So, and I'm just using a hypothetical scenario. So we haven't taught the value of the dollar, and the kids have been living good, wearing Jordans and all the fancy stuff, and then 18, you like, get out. Okay, so now how's that? Right, now how is that kid going to maintain that lifestyle that you spoiled them with and provided them with, and now they out on their own? And I know in a lot of situations, especially with the boys, they hit the streets. He still wants them Jordans, but that job that he got only pays the rent, right? So he gonna find out a way to still keep that image that he had. So now he gonna hit the streets. He gonna be doing some other things. You get what I'm saying? So even if in that situation, if they was still at home and then wasn't having to dedicate all that money towards paying the rent, utilities, forced to be an adult early, then he might be able to buy them with his own money. Right, and maybe that would stop him from hitting the streets and thinking, well, I'm gonna get this money one way or another. Because I talk to young folks all the time, and I'm amazed that a lot of them constantly howling, "Unc, I gotta get this money." You know what I mean? That's what they like to call us when we old now, right? "Unc, I'm trying to tell you, Unc, I gotta get this money," right? And I'm like, yeah, but young man, you don't want to, you don't want to have a year of prosperity just to spend the next 10 in prison. You know what I mean? You had a good year, but now that they didn't court you, now you facing 10 in the pen, So, I definitely believe that we should look at opportunity for change and how fast we force our kids to get out here in the real world, because we all know it's rough out here.
Right.
It's rough out here.
It's no cupcakes.
Right, it's no cupcakes. And when you got a child with a mentality thinking, well, I don't want to go back home because they already put me out. So they don't even see that as an option no more.
It's a pride thing also. I mean, when I left my dad's house, I was probably like 23, 24 years old. I ain't never go back.
Right, yeah, same here, brother.
My dad raised me to where I don't even ask him for money.
Right.
Like, I remember I was 19, I asked him for gas money in my Honda Civic, $10. My dad said to me, "You work?" I said, "Yeah." "You got a bank account?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Why you asking me for money?"
he said, "You already got it wrapped up. You just got to reevaluate what you doing with that money."
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now at 35, I'm not going to ask for a handout. If you want to offer to help, great. But I'm definitely not going to go back. So I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that my family's fed.
Right.
So on, I want to run this one, and we're going to move on from the change. But on the first show, we had a caller call in, and one of the things that he said, and this would have been perfect for this particular subject, was that he felt that as black parents, we give our kids too many options when it comes to what they want to do with their life.
I heard this guy.
You understand what I mean? Did you hear when he had said that? Yeah, and I got what he was trying to get. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it applies to every child, because some children know exactly what they want to do. But I think it applies more to, like, the child that's a little confused as to what to do. And then he tapped in on, like, as a parent, if you have something specific that you do, you should make sure your child learns that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a barber. I want my son to learn how to cut hair at a minimum. You know, you don't have to be a barber, but this is a skill set that I have, so let me pass that down to you. So he was saying, because we don't do that, say I move on and I got 7 barbershops, and then I reach a point where I, leave Earth. He's like, because your child didn't take over the barbering, now that goes to somebody else. So you just built something and then your own family is not even going to get it. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to make them go in the direction you want. And I told him a good example would be with the NFL, with Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. Like, their father was an NFL quarterback. So what was the chances of the sons both turning out to be NFL quarterbacks? Like, he scripted that. You understand what I mean? He scripted that. So what do y'all think about, saying to your child, no, you're going to do this, no, you're going to do that? Because, like, when you look at the way other groups do with their children, like, black people, our main concern seems to always be making sure they play football. And I like football like the next person, but the reality is, statistically, your child has a better chance of being an astronaut than becoming an NFL football player. So I don't understand the emphasis where we all just always so pumped up on football. Like, when my son was a kid, every time somebody would say, "Do you have kids?" and I say, "Yeah, I got a son," the first thing out their mouth, men, women, whoever, would be, "Does he play football?" And I'm like, Yeah, but you know, like, is that the end of all means?
Right.
You understand me?
Right.
He plays football, and
Right.
it saddens me because nobody's getting results out of that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, your child hot, he play football, he good in rec league and high school, and then he plays in college. He don't go to the NFL. That's few and far and in between.
Then what happened?
Right. Well, I'll tell you what happens. He's 30 years old with arthritis in his neck, in his ankles, and everything from going head up, cracking heads. You understand what I mean? For 11 years, and he ain't but 32 years old, and now he's jacked up.
Right.
And then you got other parents who they made their child go to ballet, made them take piano lessons, made them take guitar lessons. You get what I'm saying? And then somewhere in life, that ends up helping them out. But your child is left with his stories of how he scored 4 touchdowns at Polk High. You understand the old Al Bundy story, right? You know, so like I don't understand the emphasis on, you know, the whole sports thing. Like, it's cool, but like I've seen people who had boys who didn't even want to play football, and the dad and the mom like, no, you gonna play football. And I'm like, what is the result that's coming from this that I'm not seeing that everybody else is seeing? You know what I mean? Because most of them just end up being has-beens and hurt. So I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying that seems to be the area where I see us forcing our kids to get into something. Sports.
Right.
You understand what I mean?
Right.
Like, so I'm not really sure. But anyway, we got to go to another commercial break. And then we're going to wrap this one up and move on to the next. Black by the Man Radio, y'all. Host, Brother Mike. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice products today. Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice products today.
Thank you very much.
Because they had nothing else to do.
So it was like, imagine that your late husband was actually your father. I can't imagine that because that's disgusting.
Right, myself.
And then I would have to clean my basement because that's where my actual father resides right now. So, okay. The 60-year-old woman learned the truth about her husband, Percy, 6 years after he passed
Not
away.
Percy, no. Percy doesn't sound like that name.
Percy just sounds like a feminine boy.
Really?
Yeah.
But nobody told you at no point.
Sound like
Like Percy. Look at Percy over there with his purse.
His name first.
Percy always switching.
And you just keep laughing at him.
That's a joke. What do you call it? What's the gay boy's name?
Percy.
Percy.
What are you doing, Percy? I don't even know what to say about this one, and I'm the one that said it. Oh my gosh, we're here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. The conversations can get deep, they can get out of this world, but we do them. BeExposedRadio.com. Talk Lately, the radio show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Black by the Man radio show. I'm your host, Brother Mike. I'm here with my guest co-host, Jay the Barber Capone, and my guest, Dalles. Digue. I'll be having problems with Dallas' name, man, but I'm getting it together. Dalles is Haitian. I like that. That's what's up, brother. So we was talking about cycles we need to change. So we're going to move on from that. We hit a couple key points here with mental abuse, better eating habits, violence. I actually was going to tap into family secrets, but I'm going to save that for another one. Yeah, because you know, black families, we be having secrets. That needs to end, man. You know what I mean? Like too many people we know, be like, well, that's Uncle Billy. And then you get that one drunk uncle one time at the cookout, and he like, boy, that ain't your uncle. That's your daddy. But I'm gonna save that one, right? You get that drunk uncle, he like, that mine, I ain't say nothing. Like, boy, that ain't your uncle. So let's move on to some cycles that we pass down generation to generation that we should keep. So let's think of things we should keep. One of the things I think we should keep is anything that deals with what we created through Black American culture. You know what I mean? So that could be anything from us having a dance culture that everybody likes to imitate. We created hip hop. There's some things that we need to keep. Honoring our elders, like when I was young, that was passed down generation to generation. To honor your elders, have that respect. I think we do continue to pass it down, but I think it's slipping in some areas because I see young folks not giving elders the respect that they should. Like when we was kids, we was in the street, we might have been cussing and fussing. But then when somebody walked by who was old enough to be your uncle or your parent or grandparent, like we deaded that, you know what I mean? Like, yo, chill, come, Mr. Jenkins, right? Walk by, how you doing, Mr. Jenkins? Hey, young man, what y'all into? We showed that respect. That doesn't seem to be there today. These kids don't care, you know what I mean? So where did we drop the ball with making sure that our children continue to respect the elders?
Options, man. We started giving them options.
Yeah,
when before it was you didn't have an option but to respect your elders.
Right.
I remember growing up, it was disrespectful to whistle in my house and old Haitian stuff. Right?
Okay, all right. I never heard that before.
Man, you get slapped in the lips for whistling.
What?
Yeah.
So what's the basis behind that?
To tell you the truth, I don't even know.
Okay, all right. I respect that, brother. I get it. Yeah, you just knew not to do it. I don't know what it's about. I just know I ain't gonna do it.
Exactly.
Right.
So as you get older, you go, "Oh, whistling ain't so bad. My kids whistle now. And I don't really care. It's not disrespectful, But that's how it go. One time they disrespect. You think it's cute. It's not cute. It ain't funny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't let it slide. When my kids get out of line, I check it right then and there.
Right.
Because it's not cute. It ain't. I don't care what you say. You gotta respect your mom.
That's right.
Your grandmother.
That's right.
You don't joke around with your grandparents. You don't joke around with your dad. Like there's a time and place to play, and there's a way you play with me and a way you don't play with me.
Right. Now that's highly important because I believe in that 110%. Like we can play, but still understand who I am.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Yeah, I agree.
Them off real quick.
Yeah, so I definitely think we should keep that. We should keep teaching our kids to respect the elders, so forth and so on. I got a couple funny ones on here, right? But how about this, right? How about spades? Me personally, I think we should keep spades. You know what I mean? Like that's a Black American culture. It's something that we do that nobody else does. Because as a Black American, if say you're gonna go to a cookout, I think we should keep cookouts too. That's ours, right? We keeping cookouts. We're gonna keep passing that down. But like if you had a cookout or something like that, and then they say, "Come on, we're gonna play some spades." And then another black person look at you like, "Yo, you know how to play spades?"
They say,
like, bro, you know what that answer better be, right?
I don't know how to play spades. Right. I get looked at like I'm
right.
the worst person.
Bro, they about to snatch your black card. You know what I mean? Like, what you mean you don't know how to play spades, bro?
Don't play spades.
Yeah, See, and you got a legit reason. You got a legit reason, bro.
I get looked at like I'm crazy,
That's
man.
right. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, because that is a part of our black culture. You know what I mean? We get together, we have cookouts, we play spades.
You should keep it.
Yeah, I think that's something we should definitely keep. So, I mean, Jay, what do you think? Give me a cycle that we pass down that you feel we should keep.
What we should keep? At least the family reunions. Because we got to really teach our kids.
Family reunion, okay.
Like you said.
So this is when we having the cookout.
Yeah,
right?
You can do that.
Right, we're going to have the cookout.
For real, we don't really share stories. Like unless somebody dies, you remember this? But we need to know our history. We don't really keep up with our history because being that I'm saying I'm reading more and doing all that, but you want to look back and say, look, this is where we come from. This is your people. This is what we contribute to the world.
Right.
This is your bloodline. Be proud of that. How can you be proud of something if you don't even know what it is?
Yeah.
So at least like, oh, that son such, he got a bank, or he such he got land. At least something. But I'm saying we got to do better at that. We definitely got to keep that alive. And if anything,
Dalles, give me something Haitian, man.
I'm with Jay. Family thing.
Okay.
Growing up in Haiti, not myself per se, but my parents. Everybody lived close. Your first cousin, first cousin once removed, third cousin.
Right.
Everybody lived in a walking vicinity from each other. They grew up seeing each other. They left Haiti. People moved out New York, New Jersey, Canada, Connecticut. So it's hard to see each other nowadays. So when I hear stories from my dad about how they all grew up together, 20 of them, you know what I mean? We don't have like that here.
Yeah,
like, I know my first cousins, we grew up together. I know some of my first cousins once removed, we grew up together kind of. We saw each other maybe every other weekend, once a month, whatever the case is. But now, I mean, my family originates from New Jersey. I'm in Maryland. You know, and I got family in New York. My kids never seen them, probably never will see them. You know, so with us growing up now, it's hard to keep the family connection, but that's what we got to work hard at, is keeping the family connection and keeping the ties together, because that's how we're going to grow together as black people. It's sticking together. You know?
Yeah, I like that. Keeping our family culture, because we do have that. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you have the best times of your life when you don't have a bunch of money. You know what I mean? And that's when family tends to be tighter. Like, I've eaten some of the best meals in my home when I didn't have no money. Because it forced me to raid them cabinets. You know, I got to hit these cabinets. I ain't got no money buying nothing, right? I got to hit these cabinets. Boy, you get in there and get to cooking. All right, so look, we're going to go to commercial break again, and we come back. We're going to finish on touching on what cycles we should keep. For everybody who's tuned in with us, feel free to let us know if you have any cycles you think we should keep as black people that we pass from generation to generation. The caller number is 410-702-5657. That's 410-702-5657. Black by Demand radio show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Brother Mike will be back in a few minutes.
Lately is back on May 17th at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com. Oh, okay, yeah. Also on YouTube. I know the latest killing. Why would you see me recording? Oh my God. You a hard-headed asshole. Yo.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And we have a full house tonight. My co-host Leslie Swirl and Miss Lasha G, y'all already know.
Hey.
Mr. Tony Bling, y'all already know. But I have with me Mr. Paul Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
And my brother, Mr. Kevin Little here.
Well, all right.
So I'm quite sure this is going to be a hot topic.
Hey everybody, this is your girl, the one and only Thick Cows. Check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Oh, recently? Yeah. I was talking about overall. No, two. That was Uber. That wasn't Uber.
Yeah.
That wasn't. Yeah, that was Uber.
That situation with Uber, I think you told us about.
But this guy, you know, my whole thing is pay attention. You know, I don't know if this dude was trying to get home or something, but he was speeding. Now I'm with the flow, like, you know, do your thing. But when you taking me out of my way and you speeding, little suspect, trying to get my butt.
Like the Clemson guy from the Ohio State game.
What?
Yes. Yeah. Now, he picked me up from my job, right? And I'm telling him where to go. He refused not to go. And you're speeding. So I'm thinking, this is me. I'm in the back seat. He's speeding. I'm like, he's trying to take me in an alley somewhere. You know. And so I'm a little uncomfortable. So I'm noticing, I'm looking at the GPS. It's telling him to go this way. He's going this way. And I'm like, wait a minute. You taking me out of my way. I know I curse like a sailor, But
I do too.
there's sometimes you just don't curse. And this one time was that. Hey, look, y'all. I'm only going by what the GPS, yo. No real shit.
Oh.
What?
Oh, real shit.
I quit.
Oh.
Like real shit? Really?
Wow.
Say you cussing?
Wow.
Trying to get my butt?
Yeah, this the man that holds it down, Mr. Showtime, D the Boss. Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on Be Exposed Radio.
But when I smoked weed, there was a D on that. When I smoked weed, my inhibitions actually weren't wild. You know, like I wasn't like, oh, I want to go fly on a kite or jump off this roof or something like that. No, it was quite the opposite. I was very laid back. I actually wanted to eat all the time. Gosh, and I never would get full. And I got sleepy. So I never wanted to go out and do something wrong, like break windows, drive under the influence. Definitely not drive under.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Black by the Man radio show. I'm your host, Brother Mike. We are talking cycles, black cycles, things we pass down from generation to generation. Right now, we're touching base on cycles we want to keep. So if you have any ideas of things that we pass from generation to generation as black people that is worthy of us continuing to do it with our children, please type in and let us know what you're feeling, or call in at 410-702-5657. That's 410-702-5657. So what else did we pass down? I think we passed down the belief that you can't eat everybody potato salad. I mean, black people are sticklers on that, right? Black people come to a cookout like, who made the potato salad? Yeah. I ain't eat that, right? So I guess we can keep that one. I think we should keep our faith in God. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to go into what anybody's faith is, so it doesn't matter to me if you Hebrew, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever. As black people, we all tend to be very spiritual in one way or another. We have some type of attachment with a higher power. So I think we should keep that, you know what I mean? Because that has gotten us through a lot of our situations, you know what I mean? Even if we, wasn't able to, what's the words I'm looking for? Be on Front Street about it. Mm-hmm. Like we keep our prayers to ourselves sometimes, but, we believe there's a higher power that can protect us and help us through, life. So I think that gets passed down. With a lot of us, it's probably more Christianity than anything, but no matter how it's coming, the fact that you believe that there's a higher power that, you can reach out to and protect you, I think that's great. Right. You know what I mean? I think it keeps us grounded. So give me something you want to keep, fellas, before we move on to the final, which is things we want to change. I mean, things we want to add.
Just the things, like you said, with God, one of those things, no matter what you want to keep passed down to you from generation to generation, is something that you can't keep silent. Right. So if you believe in God, you got to make sure you drag your kids to church. You got to go to church for yourself. If you have an excuse, the kids will have an excuse too. Right. So same thing with saving money. And, if you have an excuse to save money, your kid's going to come up with the same excuse because they watch you do the same thing. Right. How you spend your money, the kid's going to spend the money the same way. If they see you going out all the time, they're going to do the same thing. Right. So that's true. If you feel like you have a certain belief that you want to pass down to your children, you got to make sure you honor that belief almost 100% of the time. Because we're all human. We can divert. But definitely. You got to make sure you honor that belief 100% of the time and hold your kids accountable to that also. They can't get sick on Sunday and say, I can't go to church today. You're going to go to church today, sick or not.
Right. Yeah, you going one way or another.
You're going to save whether you broke or not. Whether you got $10 left in your paycheck because you had to pay the court fee, a ticket, whatever. It doesn't matter. That $100 that you was putting in savings is still going to go to savings, and you're going to have to deal with the $2 left for the rest of the week till you get paid again. Right.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Jay, what should we keep, brother?
If we need to keep anything, we need to really let our children see us win and fail.
Mm-hmm.
We need to really let them see us operate, so to speak. Let us see us like how we work, how we take care of business.
Work ethic. Yeah. Right. I like that. I agree.
Because, Lord forbid, say I die tomorrow, my kids want to know how to really carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Being that my parents cared, they chastised me. My father did what he's supposed to do. My mother raised me to clean, iron my clothes, wash my clothes, cook, whatever. Just in case I never found a woman that would do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you can take care of yourself.
Right.
And on my father's hand, hey, I've been working since I was 10. My brothers and cousins, they can vouch for it. So
mm-hmm.
you gotta make sure you push the rock along. And so we gotta keep doing that, because being that I'm here, man, and well, you know Big Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the story that man told me, I wanted to cry.
Oh yeah. Tony's his story is definitely interesting.
That's why I wanted to call home and tell my mom and daddy, thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. That does help to put things in perspective when you hear somebody else's story and you thought that you kind of went through some rough things, and then you realize like, whew, like, yo, my episode of life was like a Nickelodeon episode compared to this dude's, right? You know what I mean? I might as well been Disney. Yeah, so I agree with that. I think we do pass down a mental toughness, to our kids. We have a caller? All right. We got a caller, everybody. Right. This is exciting.
Hey, brother. It's Nate.
Nate, how you doing, brother?
Great show. My question, as I'm listening, my question would be to the individuals that don't get that fresh start, that don't have that pot of gold or that lump sum of money to start businesses with. How would we individuals start businesses, and we didn't get the foundation from our families? We didn't have the ABCs, or we may not have went to school. How do you suggest we start off and go forth and start our own businesses and be productive and successful at it?
Okay, that's a good question, Nate. So I'm going to answer. Could you guys hear Nate's question?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give you my part on it, Nate. For me personally, I actually didn't have that. You know what I mean? And there was no one in my family that was an entrepreneur. So like I kind of kicked off the whole entrepreneur thing, and the way I went about doing it, being that I didn't have that silver spoon or have that loan, so forth and so on, I got into reading financial books. Like Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a real good one if anybody knows any about that. But yeah, like I took it upon myself to try to start figuring out the game. I saw that something was missing between the lifestyle that I was used to seeing as a black person and then other options that other people were having. And I was trying to figure out, how do you make that transition? And there was nobody there to tell me that, which is fitting with Nate's question. How do you do it when you don't have the pot of gold? You don't have another entrepreneur in the family to say, do it like this. So, yeah, it was a lot of trial and error. But my first step, Nate, was I started reading financial books and then having my own education being supplied by me. So, I mean, you guys can chime in and let Nate know that what you feel the answer would be to getting it kicked off, without having, access to $100,000 loan, because I never had that.
Right. No, Mike's right. Immersing yourself in the things that you want to do for the knowledge. I mean, nowadays it's a lot easier than before. You don't have to go to a library and check out books. Nowadays you could just go to the internet, YouTube. A lot of people put YouTube videos out on things that you want from
YouTube's a good one.
Yeah, to building buildings. You can go to Google, Amazon, and you can order any book, be in your house in 2 days, and you can start reading it. The other trick is hard work and sacrifice. It's just certain things you're just gonna have to cut out your life to save the money to get to where you want to be. And it might be your friends, it might be you might not be able to see your mother every day. But if you want to own your own business, it's certain things that you got to get down to doing. You might not be able to buy Jordans anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but it'll be worth it at the end.
Right. To play off of that, like right now, because I know I'm gonna be a barber, like I tell everybody, till I turn gray in the face. I'm in the process of buying my own shop. So for me personally, I gotta really sacrifice. So how I sacrifice, hey, we can't go out to eat all the time, or you can't take this trip this month, or you can't pay the cable bill.
Right.
Because of what I did, I told Comcast, you come get this. I'm not gonna pay $200 a month when I don't need to pay it, and I'm not home as it is anyway. So, that sacrifice will propel me and my family into a whole nother tax bracket. Because once I get that shop, hey, more doors will open up. So I know nobody's not gonna give me a loan. So the guy I'm intentionally gonna buy my shop for, he been a blessing in my life, because he said, instead of going to that bank and paying the interest rates, save your money, give it to me, we'll work some out.
I think that's what Nate's asking with the question. Like with your case, you got dude who's a business owner, and so he's able to kind of guide you. So I think what Nate's saying is, when you don't have that, you know, how do you get the start on it? You know what I mean? How do you start? So for me, it was books. You know what I mean? For me, it was books. I started reading books, and you know, like I felt like I was learning the secrets to the Magic Kingdom. You know what I mean? When I started reading books, 48 Laws of Power, you know what I mean? Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Millionaire Next Door, The E-Myth. Like, these are all books that I read, and like it kind of led to me realizing, like, man, I'm not built to be an employee. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a boss. So, Nate, I hope that kind of answered your question a little bit there. You still there, Nate? Did we lose him? Okay, we lost our caller, but that was a great question, Nate. If you're listening, man, I hope we answered it to the best of our ability. But his question was basically, when you don't have access to loans and the silver spoon and parents that can give you thousands of dollars to get started, you know, how do you go about doing it? So for me, I think it's seeking your own personal education. Yeah, because at the end of the day, and I tell my son this, you know, anything you want to know, like, there's a book out there for it. You know, like we kind of, I think, the way society is set up, I think it puts us in a position where once you get the job, whether you went to college or not, but like once you get into the real world, you get the job, you know, you're taking care of your family, you're married or you got kids or whatever, like we stop learning. Learning is no longer a part of that, because now it's like I work, I take care of my family. When I get a little spare time, either we do something as a family, or I'm just chilling watching the Ravens, you know, or whatever. But none of our spare time gets dedicated to learning anymore. It's like once we reach that point where we are in functioning society as a member making money, we forget all about learning. And I think that's a mistake, because I think that's when you really start learning. So if you increase your reading and start reading books that's going to give you leverage in life to do better, then, you know, we do better. But most of the time, our spare time is spent on entertainment, especially as black people. Like, we love entertainment. Like, you know, like black people love being entertained. Like, we would much rather, you know, shuck and jive than, you know, deal with serious conversations and actually learn some things. And I think that's part of the problem. You know what I mean? It's part of the problem. So we got to get out of the mindset that you don't need to learn anything else just because you work and you make money. But at the end of the day, especially if you're an employee, you know, it could change. They can pull that rug from underneath you in a heartbeat. Any day. And that was one of the scariest things for me when I was still an employee. I didn't like that someone had complete control over my life. Now, I'm not knocking being an employee, you know, for anybody out there. That's not what I'm doing. We do what we got to do, and most of us are employees. I'm just simply saying what drove me away from it, you know. Like, I guess I wanted to have more control of what was going on with me, and then my own personal experiences of having that rug pulled from underneath me. I'm just like, I'm done with this. You know what I mean? This is scary. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, this is scary. Y'all go out here, I buy a house, I get a nice car, I'm taking care of my family, I'm 7 years in, and then they walk in and there's a goddamn cake on the table talking about farewell. You understand what I'm saying? This is our last week here.
You know what I mean? Make the sacrifice.
Yeah, right.
That when I'm an employee, my wife's an employee. Right. And one day we made the decision that, you know, this isn't enough for us. You know, we still employees, but we started to live our life in a manner that, A, is equal to our paycheck, right? And second, is equal to when we no longer an employee, that we can be okay still. Right. Because I don't want to be an employee forever, and it's their discretion whether they're going to let me go or not.
It is. You know? It is. So you kind of at their whim.
Right. So when they do let me go, I don't want to be upset about it. I want to continue to be able to pay my bills. Right. So now I don't buy a lot of clothes. I don't buy a lot of sneakers. I don't.
My man. Yeah.
You check your paycheck. Right. My bank account look good right now. So you let me go tomorrow.
I'm straight.
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I can make it another year or so without.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's something that I had to change my mentality. I had to make sacrifices. But you got to make those sacrifices, and you have to have the mentality.
I definitely value what you said, man. And for the people who don't know, we didn't say this on the air, but Dalles happens to be an accountant, So this brother sitting over here ain't just talking some numbers off the top of his head. He's an accountant, you know what I mean? So I definitely respect where you're coming from, brother. I like it. And I think that's what we need more of, these type of discussions, because we're not talking about this. Like, we could easily get on here as three brothers and talk about empire and power. And the phone lines will blow up. Phone lines will blow up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we have all kinds of people tuned in. But unfortunately, that's not what the Black by the Band radio show's about. Like, we're going to have a little fun, but we trying to discuss black business, black lives, black matters, things that we feel is relevant. You know what I mean? So on that relevance, we're going to give facts. We're going to give perspectives and opinions. You know what I mean? It's opinions. So, man, that's wonderful, brother. Yeah, this brother's an accountant, so I appreciate those comments, Dalles.
No problem, man.
That's what's up, right? So, what else? Anything else that cycles you guys think we should keep and keep on passing down? I like trusting your black instincts. Like, that is something we pass down to our children. Trusting your black instincts. And what I'm saying is, say even in a situation where somebody wants you to go camping with them for the weekend, right? See, your black instincts is gonna keep in, because your mama and daddy told you a long time ago, don't be off playing in the woods. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what's in them woods. You know what I mean?
Camping, bro.
Right? You okay? Well, we got a brother for camping. He's an islander. I got you, right? He's Haitian, but majority of us ain't about camping. We don't really get into skiing. Yeah, it's some stigmas that's been put in place when it comes to us. Boat rides and all that. Black people, I don't know if I want to get on a boat. I think that's how we got here. So I ain't comfortable with that. But yeah, I think we got. I think we have black instincts that we pass down to our kids, and I think it comes like when our kids are about to do something, then we get on and we like, look, you know better than that. You know what I mean? Don't do that. See, that's us giving our black instincts. You understand me?
We probably done been through it already.
Yeah. We done been through it. Like it's already a tough enough job just being black in America. As much as people don't want to face the reality of that. You got a lot of us that think because they're making a couple dollars.
You different,
right? You different, but hopefully Jay-Z helped you out with that with his new album. You know what I mean? So look, we gonna keep it moving though, man. So the last that we want to touch on, right, is going to be cycles. We should add. Things we should add. Okay, so we got 1 minute before we go to the next break. So we're just going to touch on this a pinch, and then we're going to get back to it. But cycles we should add just off the top of your head, based off of what you were saying, right? I think financial literacy is one of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Big one.
Yeah,
because we don't understand it still.
Yeah,
I still don't understand it. Almost
I think we've become too dependent on school, public school, private school, or whatever. But like, school doesn't teach your kid how to deal with money.
No.
You know what I mean? Doesn't teach your kid how to deal with money.
School taught me how to write a check. And that's about it.
And even today,
I think that's about
if they teach you how to write a check, it ain't even in cursive. Because they removed that. They removed that.
Yeah.
So I think financial literacy is something we should add.
You should. You should pass it down to your kids, but also, you got to hold yourself accountable, because, like I said, your kids,
they're gonna be watching
everything you do.
They're gonna be watching.
You can't tell your kids we can't afford that fidget spinner, and then you go grab that Twix.
Right. He's looking at you like, what's up? Okay, so we're gonna go to break, and we're gonna touch on financial literacy as being one of the things we want to add to the cycles that we pass down from generation to generation. Black by the Man Radio, only at BeExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Brother Mike. We'll be back after this commercial break.
I know the weight is killing you. Suspense is building. All this stuff in the news keeps happening, and I'm not even here to talk about it. But look, on May 17th at 7 p.m., Talk Lately with me, Marnie, is back. We can get into the gossip, all the entertainment news, the politics, everything. It's open to interpretation, but I'm going to put a spin on it with my flair of funny. And it all goes down right here on BeExposedRadio.com, and we on YouTube. So get ready. You should already be ready. You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty when he rants about his staff.
Great. Can you come on. I told you stop touching that button. Why is it so loud? God. Did you turn one all the way up again? Do I have to come in there? God damn her. If it was going right, I would let you do your part, but I'm sorry, but it's just not functioning the way it's supposed to be.
You're live on the air.
I told you mind your business.
Well, Monty, if I can comment on the Jennifer Holiday situation, I can.
I know I'm live on the air. I'm sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
I know I'm live on the air. This is why this whole show is called Talk Lately.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Black by the Man radio show. I'm your host, Brother Mike, and we got a caller, man. Let's take another caller. We got a caller? Let's do this. Caller, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, I'm here. This is Brother Mike with the Black by the Man radio show.
Hi, how you doing? I'm calling wrestling about the finance thing.
Yes.
I used to work in the school system, and we had special ed kids, and we would give them a certain amount of money, and we would tell them, this is what you got to live off for a month, and we gave them different type of bills, the household bills and stuff. And then they would see that, oh, my God, I can't live off this. So it's like we was teaching them how to survive in the outside world. And this is in the school system. I'm not saying that every school taught this, but I worked at Atlantic City High School, and we taught the special ed kids that how to survive on their own, because they had a stigma as it was to be special ed kids.
Right.
So we would try to teach them how to survive on their own. So we would like I said, give them, and it's not real money, it's like, play money, but it emphasized the same thing, the value of real money, how much they would probably make in a week or a month, and how would they pay their bills.
Yeah, that is excellent.
They was learning that it was very hard to survive on how much they was making. It depends on how much they made, how to survive on it. So, each child made a different amount of money. And they would come back and report, how they survive and how much money they have left after they paid their bills. And
that was teaching them financial literacy. That's a beautiful thing.
Thanks a lot, Miss Shirley.
Because that's really preparing them for the real world. That is definitely wonderful to hear that. We need more of that.
Definitely do.
We definitely need more of that. Now, what area are you calling from?
Well, I live in Bel Air now. I live in Bel Air, Maryland now.
Okay, Harford County. Yeah. I'm from Harford County. We all coming about Harford County. Let's ring the bell on that.
Well, I used to live in Sickerville, and I was working in Atlantic City High School. So I just moved here in June. So, but
nice, very
nice. And I'm retired now, so it's like.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure you paid your dues. Well, we appreciate you calling in.
I don't have to get up, in the morning unless I want to.
Oh, that's nice. That's what I'm talking about.
But I do miss the kids that I work with, so it's like.
And financial literacy is what can get us to that point where you at.
Yeah. Hopefully it helps some of the kids, outside. Once they graduated, because most of the kids that I work with have graduated now because they're allowed to stay with us until they're 21. And so most of them have graduated, so hopefully that helps them out when they go out there in the real world to learn.
Yeah, I definitely think it will, because it's not something that's being taught on the regular. School is great, but it teaches you how to make the money. It doesn't teach you what to do afterwards.
Right. You gotta take the time also to sit with your kids and actually to learn that,
Right.
To teach them that you gotta sit down with them and give them scenarios.
We're still here. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I can't hear you. Hello.
Hello.
Can she hear us, Rob? Yeah, we're still here, Miss Shirley.
Yeah, you gotta be able to sit down with your kids and take the time to spend that. So it's all great that we all work and we spend our money, we save our money, but you gotta spend the time every day going over certain scenarios with your kids when you get a chance. I mean, going to Target is a simple scenario, you know.
Right.
When they ask you, like I told you, my kids always asking for something big and they asking for something small. I gotta break it down to them, especially the older they get. I break it down to them. Hey, this is how long it takes you to get something small.
Right.
This is how long it takes you to get something big. Every time you spend on something small, you knock away from the amount of money and the time that's going to take you to get something big.
Right.
What you want to do.
That's true, brother. I like that. I like that. Well, Miss Shirley, we appreciate you coming in, calling in with your comment. I mean, definitely stay with us and keep on participating with us. And I thank you for calling in.
Okay, then. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, that was wonderful, man. I like what she said, because she said she was teaching that to special education. Special education kids.
They already have a stigma of being mentally slower than the rest of us.
Right.
In society, they're already behind. So you want to teach them things that help them improve their lifestyle a little bit. They learn how to cook. They learn how to sew. They learn how to do different things that we may just take for granted, where they may have a harder time learning.
Right.
They teach them at the schools.
Nice. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I mean, I know they're special education, but what she was giving them was a special education. Yeah. You get where I'm coming from? Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. So, yeah, financial literacy. We want to add in better spending habits, teaching our kids the value of $1.
Yeah.
Another one I wanted to touch on if we have time. What about what we are teaching our daughters in regards to selecting a man? And the reason why I bring this up is because I just watched the brother the other day, and basically he was trying to hold, these women accountable, saying, they're choosing, the wrong men to have baby by, so forth and so on. So it made me think, okay, so like what could we do to add to our cycles to help our young ladies do better at choosing? That's true. Attraction's there.
You can't help attraction.
That's true. Okay. So it looks like we're running out of time, everybody, but we're going to touch in on that subject on the next show. I want to thank everybody for coming to the show. Thank my guest co-host, Mr. Jay the Barber Capone, as well as our guest, Mr. Dalles.
Thank Digue.
Digue.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate y'all brothers coming. Definitely, man. And, of course, I'm definitely going to bring you brothers back so we can do another show. For everybody that tuned in with us, we thank you for tuning in. It's been another exciting episode of the Black by Demand radio show. And again, we just here to talk about Black matters, Black business, Black lives, and things that we feel are relevant. Right, so please support the show. You can donate to the show at beexposedradio.com and also the blackbydemand.com webpage, which is the one-stop shop for Black business. You can donate there as well. We would love for, if you're a business owner, to place an ad on there so that we can have more visual of your business and more people can find it, Black, white, whoever. And as well as just supporting the movement. Buy a T-shirt, get a wristband, donate to the movement, be a part of what's going on. We are beginning to grow as a community of people. We are having conversations that we feel are relevant, that's going to benefit everybody. We have to stop being so individualized. You're going to always do your thing as an individual, but don't live your life without participating in anything that helps your group move forward. So that's the word to the wise from your boy, Brother Mike, here at the Black by the Man radio show. Thank everybody for tuning in. We will be back next Monday from noon to 2, only at BeExposedRadio.com. I'm your boy, Brother Mike. Thanks again, fellas, for coming. And we'll catch y'all on the flip side. You know what side that is. It's the black side. Deuce.
Thank y'all for tuning in.